Coming along to the Ergo seat, what we find is this is a significantly thicker material. Unfortunately, what we have here along the side though, first of all, welcome to the channel and thank you for stopping by. When time permits, please consider subscribing. I would greatly appreciate it. What we have here today is a new replacement seat for my motorcycle. Initially, I started with the factory seat, which was fine for short rides, but very uncomfortable for anything longer than an hour, hour and a half. So what I did was I went to the Power Parts bench seat, and that served me for over 9,000 miles. But then I saw a review by ADV Matt of the KTM Power Parts Ergo seat, and I decided to give it a try based on a couple of things Matt said, primarily that it was wide and comfortable. So putting the Ergo seat on my bike, the first thing I noticed was that this unfortunate, uncomfortable backrest, I guess you would call it, still bothers me. It was the primary reason why I replaced the seat initially with the bench seat. I like to have the freedom of movement. I ride primarily older sport bikes, which are a longer seat, and my Honda, which is a nice long seat. So moving to the bench seat was definitely the right choice for me for anything off-road, like where I like to ride. But what that seat didn't do for me was provide the width of the original seat. And while moving forward and back does a really good job of allowing me to keep my tailbone from getting sore, and it doesn't really provide the width you want for comfort on a long trip. By moving to the Ergo seat, I brought back the problem of this, but I gained the benefit of the width. And I have to say, this is a really nice seat. I went ahead and rode this for about 3,000 miles before I put the bench seat back on. I wanted to get a good feeling for it, and what I noticed was it was more comfortable. I thought for a while there at the beginning that it was only more comfortable than the bench seat because of the fact that my bench seat had 9,000 miles when I took it off. But really, I'm now over 6,000 miles on this, and it's definitely more comfortable than my bench seat was when it went on. I don't know if there's anything different with the padding or it's simply that extra width, but in my opinion, having ridden it for 6,000 miles, including 4 10-hour days on the Mid-Atlantic BDR, this is the most comfortable seat I've sat on in a long time. It's really impressive. I'm not sure what they did, and I wish they had done this to the bench seat. Now, if you're going to be going off-road a lot, I still think the bench seat is the way to go. It has the primary benefit of being longer, allowing you to have more room to move when you're off-road. And it also has a texture along the sides. When I have taken this one off-road, including on the BDR and right out here in the Grafton Forest, what I've noticed is, at least with my 2 pairs of off-road pants, I don't stick to this at all. It's just slippery, and I'm not a really big fan of that. So off-road, I find that to be an issue. I'm sure other people won't, and again, if you have different riding pants than mine, you may find it to be just fine. But if you're going to be more on the road, this is absolutely the best choice. If you're going to go third party, I know there are some other options. You can spend $300 on a nice aftermarket kit to convert your primary seat. But this is a really comfortable seat, and it comes in at under $175. So I think not only is it probably the most comfortable seat you can buy for the bike, it's certainly the most inexpensive seat you can buy for the bike. Okay, let's go ahead and take a really good look at the seat, and I'll tell you what I think of the materials. Okay, this is the back seat that isn't replaced, and it's the original material, and it is a very inexpensive rubberized vinyl maybe. And when we move on to both of the Power Parts seats, what we find is it's a significantly heavier and much better textured material all along the seat. This does allow you to stick wherever you're sitting. It gives a much better traction. But down here, the sides are significantly different material. This is very thin, as you can see right here, and I'm somewhat concerned I'm eventually going to tear it. But what really bothers me is this is smooth, very, very smooth. So if you're standing on the bike and your goal is to grip the seat, I hope you've got something on your pants that's going to stick to this material, because mine certainly don't. Another downside to the material here on the sides is it stains. The top, I can wipe this off with a damp cloth and it still looks like new. But here I've got multiple stains. Whenever I get mud on it, it just does not clean off. So in conclusion, having used the original seat, the Power Parts bench seat, for 9,000 miles, and then now having used the Ergo seat for over 6,000 miles, if you are going to be doing any kind of serious road miles, the Ergo seat is absolutely the one I recommend. The comfort just can't be beat. I did 4 10-hour days on the Mid-Atlantic backcountry discovery route, and I honestly didn't notice the seat. It felt comfortable. I was just riding. Granted, I was standing up for a little bit of it, but most of it, honestly, it's gravel roads. Most of the time I was sitting right on this seat and I enjoyed the ride. I didn't feel uncomfortable. I didn't feel like, I should have gotten a different seat. It just goes in the back of your mind. You enjoy your riding. So again, if you're going to be doing road miles, this is absolutely the seat for you. And if you're going to be doing off-road, take a look at my bench seat review. That's also a really great seat and definitely superior off-road. All right, if you stuck around this long, thank you. I really appreciate it, and take care.